Ready? The new Camaro Z28 has a 500 horsepower V8 and a manual gearbox. But that means we can't test it against a new Porsche, so we have to use an old Porsche. There's a 997 GT3 RS. Let's celebrate the manual gear change.
What a difference a government bailout makes. I thought GM was supposed to be making electric cars and being worthy on behalf of the US taxpayer, but it's heartening to see those funds being spent on important things, like this new Camaro Z28. 505 horsepower, carbon ceramic brakes, and a total focus on dry weather track performance, which is handy when it rains in Wales. But we had to see what this car was all about, and we only had 24 hours with it, so we did the best that we could in the deluge. So what is a Z28? Well, it's a lightweight Camaro, so that means it weighs 1,730 kilograms. Stop sniggering at the back there. It takes a 7-litre V8 from the Corvette, dry sumped it, and pushes 481 foot-pounds of torque. You get thinner glass, no aircon, not much interior trim, a set of Trick Multimatic dampers, a new LSD, and wait for it, 305 section front rubber. You also get the most fantastically OTT front spoiler and a general feeling of largeness. Remember Marty McFly's quizzical face when he said, "You made a time machine out of a DeLorean"? Well, you feel a similar way when you see they chose a Camaro as the base for a track car, but it's got real presence. And it's got a manual transmission, which means we have to test it against something with a stick, right? Actually, this is just an excuse to borrow a 997 GT3 RS Gen 2 one more time. I think it's safe to say you'll be familiar with this car. It's rightly the benchmark road-based track car for speed, response, durability, and, well, being cool as hell. 3.8 litres, 444 horsepower, 1,370 kilograms, and not much besides. This one has the optional ceramic brakes and no aircon, like the Z. They're both track cars, so we went to a track, and it rained. Lots.
I promise I won't constantly reference the weather in this, but it's not ideal. It's the UK. I've only got one day to shoot it. The circuit was flooded. It's a bit better now, but it's still not ideal, if I'm honest with you. Why have I got the old GT3 RS in this test? Well, if GM are good enough to give us a car with a stick and 3 pedals, then I need to find another one, don't I? You find me another 500 horsepower track day car, or 400 and something horsepower track day car that's based on a street car and has got a manual gearbox. There just isn't one. So we had to roll out the delicious 997 3.8 RS again. And it really is, as you can see by the fact that I'm grinning, a stunning machine. It's not perfect in these conditions though, because those front Michelins don't like to bite. You get some understeer and then it is quite a difficult car to control. But it's so interactive. So touchy-feely compared to pretty much anything that's made now. It shows you how the senses have been emasculated in some of these cars even over the last 3 years. This is not an old car, it's 4 years old, but it almost feels a bit quaint and vintage in some respects because I'm having to do so much. Let's talk you through it then. Okay, I'm going to turn some bits and bobs off. Flat 6, 435 horsepower, 430 Newton meters torque. Revs beyond 8 just beautifully. It's a stunning machine. You can lean on the ABS. You have to get your heel and toe right, otherwise it's a pig. It's a car that demands the driver to drive well. If you drive well, it's a honey. If you drive badly, it's a bit of a pig. Mechanical grip, well, it's got loads of traction, but the front is the problem. The front gives way, and then you get this nasty sort of grabby push in the wet. Once you get through that, it's lovely. Listen to that noise. But for me, this isn't really about trying to roll out an old Porsche and say it's better or worse than a brand new Camaro. It's a celebration of how much I enjoy the fact that I've got this lever here. I think doing what GM's done is an absolutely genius decision. Give people a driver's car. It can go around a lap very, very quickly, but you'll only do so if you control it well. It's a paddle-free zone. Anything that's paddle-free, well, it's all right by me. So there's some straight laps. We ought to do some of that really, shouldn't we? natural balance to it that's difficult to describe. People think its physics is all wrong, but once you get it set where it wants to be, there, I'm not sure there's anything that feels better. It's just a tonic, an absolute tonic. At the time when this car was new, I think many of us suspected these later RSs, 3.8 and 4 litre in particular, were a high point. And do you know what? Looking back, they were. These cars really were a high point. It's a machine. It's a machine. And I completely understand why the values are suddenly spiking, because what else can do what this does? Oh, yes. It's difficult, but I love the fact that it's difficult. Oh, yeah, okay. I quite like GT3 RS 3.8s. I'll tell you something that you didn't know at some point. Let's have a go in the American one. So this is the American one. I quite like the American one. Make a track day car out of a Camaro. Sounds a bit like a line from a famous film, doesn't it? You made a time machine out of a DeLorean. It's that kind of thing. It really shouldn't happen. But they've done quite an interesting job here. This car feels enormous after the Porsche, and the first time you get in it, it feels a little bit inert, if I'm honest with you. But then you spend a bit of time in it. First of all, you're struck by how lovely the powertrain is. Honestly, titanium rods, revs to 7. This is a proper engine, and the gearbox is just, oh honey. Great work again from GM. If you're going to make a manual, make a good manual. This one's not too heavy, but it requires some effort and some skill. 3 pedals, they're all beautifully weighted. Again, just remind you how good, oh, he says going sideways, how good a great manual transmission is. Gear ratios, well, it's got a shorter axle, hasn't it, than the ZL1. So for me, feels great, even on this tight, very small circuit we're on. I wonder if they ever tested this car in the wet. I think they did, because it's not bad, but it's not ideal. And I love the front axle solution. Big, road-based track day cars always struggle with the front axle. Just wait. I know what, let's just throw a 305 section tyre at it, sod the geometry, throw some rubber at the problem. All square, all round, 305s, all 4 corners. In the wet, it really works because the car's got mega turning, even on these Trofeos on a damp circuit. I really, really like it. And I like the weight of the controls. Yes, it feels big and a little bit cumbersome after the Porsche, but when you drop into it, it's fast, 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 and it's responsive too. Haven't got much of a chance to test what that front splitter and that rear wing are doing, but I almost don't need to. I just like the rest of the experience so much. And given that the pound is a little bit strong at the moment, for all you UK viewers out there, this thing's £44,000. Get a load of that. I think that makes it the best value car I've driven since I've been doing drive, doesn't it? It's just awesome. Listen to the noise, no bullshit flaps on the exhaust, just a proper V8. I'd expected this car just to be charming, but it's not. They've done the number with it, and the brakes. Oh yes, the brakes. Full ceramics. I think if you ordered a set of ceramics as spare parts or replacements on a 458, they'd probably cost you about £20,000. So half that goes into the cost of this car. This has got ceramics all round. Fancy Pirelli Trofeos, which are quite interesting on a damp road, it has to be said. But, oh, I just love it. I just think it's fantastic that someone's making a car of this type. It's a massive paddle shift. It's what the world needs. Okay. What happens if you press this sort of traction control button and turn it off? That was third gear. The noise! I do hope the audio is coming through, Neil, because the noise is just lovely. Seat's a bit big for me. It's for the larger gentleman, the larger track day gentleman. You might have spotted I've got my concentrating face on, because it does require some concentration, but I love that. Oh, the gear shift. I mean, the gear shift is stand out. Oh, yes. It's an analog car in a digital age, and like a lovely chronometer on your wrist or a beautiful turntable in your hi-fi, it proves that new isn't always better. Yes, please. What a car. What a car. And there's now enough of a suggestion here that in the dry, this is going to really grip. I can see why they're pretty bullish about its potential lap times. Can we take one to the Nürburgring, please? I'd quite like to do that. I like this car. And that's before we've discussed what it's like on the road. People look at it, it looks fantastic, it sounds fantastic, it's not another German track day car. Bring it to Europe, guys, bring it to Europe, you'll sell a few.
We already know how good the Porsche is, but the Camaro was a big surprise for me. The stunning turning, the engine and its zippiness, and the sense of always wanting to play. Technically the Porsche is of course the better car, but the Camaro was actually a little bit quicker on this small track in drying conditions, and it's just $75,000, with ceramic brakes as standard. Yes, in places it looks like my 9-year-old bolted it together, but that just doesn't matter. It's frantically fast, sounds brilliant, and is a complete bargain. Can you leave one in the UK, please?